Hi everybody, in this video I will be sharing with you guys my review and comparative review of the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation and the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin. So if you guys are interested, do stick around. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cristina. I do product reviews on luxury beauty, skincare, and makeup. Occasionally I might share a luxury accessory review or a vlog here and there. If you have not subscribed, please press the subscribe button down below and the notification bell beside it so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Happy New Year everyone, and I hope everybody had an amazing holidays and New Year. Personally, I had family this holiday season and it was absolutely amazing. It's just so different celebrating with family, even if it's crazy busy for work. So without further ado, you guys, I have on two foundation. Clearly it's not that obvious anymore because I think the shades just mesh well together. So I have a get ready with me that I will put the link down below as well, or somewhere here you can see me getting ready with this full face. These are the current products that are just my go-to. This is my go-to, has been my go-to look. And so on the left side of my face, I am wearing the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in Fiji, and on the right, this is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin. This is how both packagings look like. Now you're probably wondering, why am I comparing both? Because these are the newest foundations or latest foundations that I've been trying in the last week or so. The NARS Light Reflecting I know has launched maybe 6 months back or maybe 4 months back, but never really got a chance to get my hands on it until recently. And because a lot of people included this in their best of makeup 2022, and this one, obviously Makeup by Mario, is a new launch. I've heard great things about it, and any foundation new launch, I am there. So that is why I'm comparing both today. Without further ado, let's get into it, you guys. I'm going to begin with the NARS Light Reflecting. So I will put the link of this down below. This retails for 66 Canadian. It is medium coverage and it says it is a natural finish. It's a liquid foundation, obviously. The way it's described, an advanced makeup skincare hybrid foundation with a natural finish that quickly blurs and smooths while visibly improving skin's clarity over time. They have a few ingredients that they highlight, which is biomimetic oat, Japanese lily turf, and cacao peptides and milk. So this one is 1 fluid ounce, 30 ml standard. Now let us go to the Makeup by Mario. And as reference, you guys, I am using the Sephora website just for the description. Makeup, just for the product description and what it the claims are. Okay, so this retails for $10 less. It is 55 Canadian. Description is a breathable luminous foundation that effortlessly builds and blends to illuminate the complexion with customizable long wearing coverage. It also has some ingredient highlights: grapeseed oil and vegetal squalene perfecting powders. That's about it. Now this one, you also get 1 fluid ounce, 30 ml, which is standard. So I'm going to begin with my impression when I apply these two products. First of all, I showed it in the Get Ready With Me, but let me show you the swatch again and the shades that I purchased. Okay, so the NARS Light Reflecting I got in Fiji, and for reference, for MAC I'm an NC30, and for Dior I'm a 2N. Okay, why won't this? I get so scared with the pump of this though, because it pumps out so much, even with half a pump. This is the NARS Light Reflecting in Fiji. That is the color. And then this is Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin in 5N. Makeup by Mario. A little warmer, a little more neutral, obviously because it's 5N. Let me just... So, I think I pumped a little less of this, but you can see just the NARS feels a little more dense. Makeup by Mario is a little thinner. And I think for coverage, I would say it's about the same. The NARS is immediately medium, like full on medium. With the Makeup by Mario, I think it's also medium, but I think it's less pigmented. I wouldn't say it's sheer, I think it's still medium, but less pigmented than the NARS. The NARS, you can definitely, the first impression I had when I was applying the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation is how stretchable it is. And I've never used that description to describe applying foundation, but it just goes such a long way. So little goes such a long way. I feel like it's so packed with pigment. Maybe that's where the $10 price difference is, because the Mario also applies beautifully, but it's just not as pigmented. And the NARS, with my brush, like this amount could probably do like almost 3/4 of my face, because it's just so stretchable. So as you buff it in the skin more and try to blend it out, for some reason the product just stretches itself so much throughout the face area of your skin without losing pigment. Like it's just as evenly pigmented as you go along buffing it. I hope that makes sense, but it just goes such a long way because how packed the pigmentation is. You really get pigment. It's not just the coverage, but the pigment. And I would say it is true medium. It's not entirely full coverage, but because the pigmentation is so strong, it really has more coverage than the Makeup by Mario. In terms of building up, I think the NARS is definitely more buildable. Makeup by Mario is buildable as well, but like I said, because the pigmentation is not as heavily compact as the NARS, it just looks not sheerer, but just not as much coverage. Now, in terms of the finish, in my Get Ready With Me, you guys, I apply both. The NARS on my left side and the Makeup by Mario on the right. So I highly recommend that you click on that video. I walk you through how I did this, my makeup look, and you can really see how the product applies and a lot of what I'm talking about here. So a little goes a long way for the NARS. Very, very pigmented. For the Makeup by Mario, applies beautifully, but just not as pigmented. And yeah, you need a little more product just to get the same kind of coverage as the NARS gives with one application. And then also when you apply the NARS, when I, move my face different angles, the NARS is definitely more light reflecting, and I think that's the reason why it looks more blurred, it looks more filtered. With the Makeup by Mario, actually it wasn't as light reflecting, and I mean what I could say is probably it just looks, it says it's glowing, but it's not really. It's more like just a medium coverage foundation. I didn't see a glow, unlike with the NARS. I could really see a glow. Even without my highlighter, I could see a glow with just the foundation. And also with any pigmentations or spots that you have, because of the pigmentation of NARS, it just covers better. So with the Makeup by Mario, I have some acne spots that was still very visible even after application. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to how the product wears. I've tried both products for a full 8 hours, 9-hour wear, because I wore it to work. Now I'm gonna begin with the NARS. What I experienced with the NARS is that it wears beautifully. It moves though, and if you wear a mask, which I was wearing that day, it transferred. It's not transfer proof. It transferred on my mask, and exactly where I wore the mask, the the product lifted. Like the foundation was gone when I removed the mask, but the entire rest of my face where there was no mask looked beautiful. It wore well, it didn't break down. I don't know if it looked as beautiful as first application, but it definitely didn't look worn out after an 8-9 hour wear. I remember grabbing my phone and just documenting it because I was so impressed with how my skin looked without any retouch. It wasn't cakey, it wasn't dry, it wasn't oily or breaking down, it didn't move, and the way my blush stayed and everything stayed was amazing. Now, the Makeup by Mario. This is where I think the big difference is, and I think where you'll find why there's a big difference in price. It's not just the pigmentation. I wasn't very impressed with the wear. With the Makeup by Mario, after a few hours, the finish did not look as good. I think, of course, I have mature skin, but obviously if you are younger, you're just in your teens or your 20s, or you have immaculate skin, then perhaps the wear would look better on you. But for some reason, I was just not very keen on how it looked after a full day's wear. I felt like it didn't necessarily make my skin look bad. Like there were no dry patches and no very visible breaking down or cakiness, but it was just not as beautiful as when I first applied it. It was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, it felt like it made my skin look just blah. Not bad, but not good. I don't know if that makes sense. But applied super beautifully. So if the Makeup by Mario like super worked for you guys, maybe you can let me know in the comments down below. Maybe it's the way I applied it, or did you use a primer with it? Both of these products I used just as on its own and with a primer. For the NARS, I didn't really see much of a difference. It was the same with a primer without. The Makeup by Mario, I remember trying it with a primer, but I also don't recall any big differences that, you know, was visible or that I observed. But basically, yeah, I think probably the Makeup by Mario is for younger skin, and maybe if you have flawless, beautiful skin, maybe this one, because it's not as pigmented, will work with you better. I can't say anything bad about this, but I feel like I was just more impressed by this, and I understand why a lot of people included this on their Best of Beauty 2022. Although this one has its, you know, downsides as well. It's not the Holy Grail Perfect Foundation because it's not transfer proof. It will move. But I think it's just the finish. I was more impressed by the finish of this and the pigmentation of this. Because it's so highly pigmented, it goes a longer way and just seems like it's more there, the quality. Makeup by Mario, still very good. I'm gonna keep using this. I'm not gonna return this, but I think with this you just have to reinforce it with more like heavy duty concealers. Like, it still looks amazing. There's nothing bad I can say about it, but 55 versus 66, so a $10 difference. I think that's where it lies. So it's not a big difference either, but just the differences that I notice, I think it's because of that. But both beautiful foundations. Honestly, this one, if you have younger skin, maybe because I have mature skin, I want more pigmentation in my foundation. But other than that, it's a good foundation as well. So that is about it, you guys. I hope you found this video interesting and informative. Again, I will put the links of these products down below, and if you want to shop those links, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy wherever you are. Again, Happy New Year, and I hope you guys have a great day or a great evening.